You tell them I'm coming, and hell's coming with me, you hear? Hell's coming with me!
Well. Looks like there's some rumors going around that maybe already there's some friction within the staff at the University of Alabama with the recent hiring of Ryan Grubb as offensive coordinator. Now, is it real friction, something that we should be worried about as Alabama fans? Or is it just the haters trying to steer the pot and cause Alabama trouble? Because even though we went 9-4 last year, we're still in the back of their minds. Let's talk about it. Here we go once again, right on in. It's the Outlaw Posse now in effect. And today's Four Horsemen shout-outs go to Sigma, Fred Bagley, Jay, and Squid Water are mounted up and saddled up and ready to go. And they're going to help us with today's college football invasion. Now, like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. That's the big four. And they're all absolutely free. But if you want a little something extra and you want to get your random Four Horsemen shout-out like they just did, as well as get your badge and get deputized and possibly be the comment of the day, all you got to do is hit that join button over by the subscribe button. It's not $2.99 a month. That's just 75 cents a week. That's just a half a bottle of water for the Outlaw. Now, getting right to it here. Seems like we got a little friction, as I said in the lead up. Supposedly, I'm going to bring this article up from the Essentially Sports. I think that's the name of the website. Let's go ahead and bring that up for you guys and gals right now. Actually, this is not from Essentially Sports. I misspoke. This is from the Sporting News. Alabama football coach Kalen DeBoer, it says, may have drama on his staff after a splashy offseason hire calls for big changes. He goes on to say Alabama head football coach Kalen DeBoer hired Ryan Grubb this offseason to fix Crimson Tide offense that had notably bad efforts against Oklahoma and Tennessee, which undid their college football playoff hopes. Well, no shit. Captain Obvious here. Fixing anything usually creates friction with existing infrastructure. In this case, former lead play caller Nick Sheridan, who remains on DeBoer's staff, is the primary scapegoat after Grubb came in and supposedly called out his play calling. This is where you got to make a judgment call here as to whether you think the Sporting News and maybe some of the Alabama haters out there are just trying to steer the pot, or there actually might be something to this. It says here, Smoke Dixon, host of the Bama Standard Network, believes there could be friction as a result of Grubb's aggressive overhaul. When the new offensive coordinator comes in, Ryan Grubb, I appreciate his honesty. He basically went and watched the same tape that everybody else has been watching and we've been watching, and he was quite critical of Nick Sheridan, Dixon said. Now, he wasn't saying, Nick, you're awful, but he was saying the things that we need to do, we aren't going to do them at a higher rate. It ain't going to go over well. You and I are both competitors, and when you have someone come in, when you've been demoted, man, the noble thing to do is you get out and go find another job because everything that you've installed and everything that you've done is getting questioned. Traditionally, Grubb quarterbacks have not been dual-threat weapons like Alabama had in 2024 with Jalen Milroe, Colin Gay of the Tuscaloosa News writes. Simply put, Grubb develops and coaches gunslinging quarterbacks to define the offense they play for, and Alabama Grubb could have three that fit that mold. And that was the article from the Sporting News. You guys and gals tell me what you think about all that. Me personally, I really didn't see anything in there other than the Dixon guy from the Bama Standard Network basically maybe making some kind of an assumption. I think that Dixon doesn't really like Nick Sheridan, so he's got a bit of an axe to grind there with Nick Sheridan, in my opinion. But it is coming from Alabama sources and Alabama people that are saying that there might be possible friction. And just like you said, when someone comes in, it sort of made me raise my eyebrows too. I thought Ryan Grubb may come in as an analyst or someone on the backside of things and in the backdrop until maybe Nick Sheridan was given another year instead of just getting 1 year. But I guess you got to make tough decisions sometimes, and you got to give it to Kalen DeBoer that he's not mincing words, and he's not going to just let things go along and wait until something else bad happens. He's just going to go ahead and rip the Band-Aid off and say, look, Nick, you only got this job because Ryan Grubb didn't take the job. Ryan Grubb had the job at Alabama. He left and went to Seattle to be the offensive coordinator for the Seahawks because there's supposedly another rumor, and I don't know if this is really a rumor. I think this may be more close to the facts, that Ryan Grubb and his wife did not like the city of Tuscaloosa. They didn't like the midtown, small town feel about Tuscaloosa is what I gather. Seattle's a much bigger city. So my question is, Ryan Grubb was probably the best option as far as between him and Nick Sheridan, but is Ryan Grubb going to be here for just a year or 2 years and then leave again? Now, a lot of people say, well, that could be with anybody, and that is true. But you would like to at least get 2 or 3 seasons out of this guy before him and his wife decide, or his wife decides for him, that they need to leave the midtown, small town atmosphere of Tuscaloosa again. That's the one worry I have is he going to be just a 1-year deal and cause more instability later? If that's the case, then maybe you should have given Nick Sheridan another shot at being the offensive coordinator this year and let Ryan Grubb sit on the back burner for a little bit. But Ryan Grubb and Kalen DeBoer have come up with each other. They've been together since, I guess, back to Sioux Falls. And you can tell it's just probably more of a fit and more what the Kalen DeBoer is looking for in his offense to do as far as producing points and the kind of offense that he wants produced on the field. But a lot of these, like I said, Alabama haters out there are probably eating this up. They like this. They're thinking, well, there's some friction on here. Maybe to cause some problems for Alabama because even though we went 9-4, I still think that in the back of their minds, there's still a lot of teams out there that whether they want to admit it or not, they'll come in here and start raising hell when they hear me say this, but they're still emasculated by Alabama because you still see signs that say we want Bama. Now, I'm going to add something a little different to the show today. I'm going to bring up an old school clip of the Bear Bryant show. I'm going to do this periodically, or I may do it every show, or at least every Alabama show that I do. And I'm going to show y'all this old school clip just to bring back some nostalgia for the old school fans out there, and just for fans in general that like to know a little bit of the history of their football program.
Coach, I noticed that you brought your hat with you
this
today.
is something unusual, but I got to do it. And I don't want a bunch of letters, this, that, and the other. Don't have time to answer. But these old hats I wear, I'm out of. And I know somebody got one around someplace. I don't care how many. It doesn't have to be new. We don't want an old one. This one's old, but not the small check. You can buy the small check, but quit making these things, and I have to have them. Be myself, and I'm out. Except this one right here and one old red one. I want the black and white with big check.
What size?
7 3/8, or if I get a 7.5, or the blue and white, or the crimson and white. And I'll be glad to pay for them, or whatever you want, a reasonable price. If you don't have one, if you have one, you don't want it, if you just got it because it's pretty, well, let me buy it from you. But as I say, I don't care about a bunch of double talk about it because I don't have time to fool with it. But I'm going to run out. I don't want that to happen. Thank you.
Coach,
That's first.
that's the first time you've ever
Begging
done a
thing.
begging. we need a little cup instead of a hat.
Man, that brings back some memories. I was really young when Bear Bryant retired. I was probably about 7 or 8 years old. But, I still remember some of it and a little bit of it. So that brings back a lot of old school memories. Those Golden Flake crackers right there. They still make the best, by the way. The Golden Flake peanut butter crackers, the little round ones, the ones I like. He had the cheese ones up here, but I like them too. But I just thought I'd share that with you. I thought y'all would like that, bring back some memories. And then those that were too young to understand or remember Bear Bryant, myself included to a degree, I just thought it'd be a little something that y'all like. And that's all I got to say about that. Y'all drop it in the comment section. Tell me what you think about all this. Is there friction at Alabama, or is it just Bama haters trying to steer the pot? Like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel. KMCA to all the other teams. Class is now officially dismissed.